Hey everybody, tonight we're going to be talking about the Magnetic Cashew Nut version 2 from GAO Studios. This one happens to be in PC or polycarbonate, and we're going to take it apart, take a close look at it, compare it with the original V1, which I also have in polycarbonate, and we'll compare it with the mechanical stainless steel version. So please stick around. So this is the version 2 of the GAO Studio Magnetic Cashew Nut, and this was in polycarbonate. I don't think it was ever available in anything but that. Not 100% sure on that, but I think that was the case. And this was around $25. This is the same price, came out later here. 3 levels instead of just 2, and it's polycarbonate as well, but I saw that it's available in red, and then an amber color, and then you can have it either polished or like a satin finish. I think this sort of has a satin finish to it. I've also seen it in PEI, which we also call Ultim, although I just did learn recently that I guess PEI is technically the correct chemical name, but Ultim is sort of a brand name. But I like Ultim better. I think Ultim sounds a lot cooler. I'm really happy with this. I was on the fence because this is so quiet. This would be good for somebody that just needs something under the desk, maybe in a meeting. It's very much a sensation thing and not a sound thing. It's very quiet. Not very snappy either. Just not my kind of thing. But it could be perfect for you. I don't know. I was happier to get my hands on this, and there's another fellow on YouTube that convinced me. He was really happy with his, and he assured me that it would be at least different in a lot of ways than the original, and it is. I like it. It has much more magnet strength. It has a unique construction on the inside. We'll take it apart here in a minute, and I'll show you how that works. I was curious about that too, because I could see in the photos, like I could tell something weird was going on there, but then we'll talk about it then. And it's got this little keychain attachment thing here. GAO has a weird obsession with pendant attachments, and I don't know, that could be easily cut off if you wanted to, or ground off. I think I'll probably leave it on mine, but it does make me hold it in this orientation, because if you flip it over, this part needs to move, so it kind of gets your fingers get in the way, and it's just not as smooth of a trip if it's up here out of the way. And I think that's kind of the same thing if you're trying to work it from this side. I think especially from this side, because when it's down in there and then you try to move it, it kind of really digs in. But you don't feel it. I mean, it's not just, it may not get in your way at all. I'm picky about those things, so. But size-wise, this is a little bit bigger. I think this is thicker, but this is a little bit. We'll measure them here in a minute, but well, I don't know. It's hard to tell in this light. They're actually all very similar. I wonder if they aren't all the same length. We can get a general idea what the thickness is too, or the width in the middle here. But yeah, the order I got them in, I got this first. Then the mechanical craze came along, kind of, sort of. And they made this nice mechanical version. This is one of my absolute favorites of the bunch right now. It takes a little bit of getting used to, and it operates different depending on how moist your hands are. This is even the satin version, so it should have better grip than the polished version. But as my fingers get dry, it's a little harder to grip, it seems. That's not the case at all with these PC ones there. And I don't know what the polished ones would be like. I don't imagine it's that much different. But these kind of warm up to your hand temperature as soon as you touch them. And there's no real issues with grip or anything there. So I don't know if I said or not, but you can find this on AliExpress by just searching for GAO Cashew, and you'll see all 3 of these things come up. I think it's definitely worth it. Did I mention the price? Because I did. I don't know if I did or not, but like this was about $25, and this is about the same price now. So I would probably skip this. and go for this, but that's just me. What kind of enticed me was the construction. So it's a ball slider, but it's not really a 4-track slider. Well, when it's in this 3-level position, it's not a 4-track slider, but you can make it a 4-track double level slider by taking out this middle piece here. So you see how there's only part of an arc here and part of an arc there? It's the same thing on the opposite side. If I flip it over, you can see the same thing. The only thing a little disturbing about this, it's not very expensive, so I don't know, it's not too much to work. I don't think it's going to fall apart on me or anything, but you can probably see here in the reflection the way the plastic has deformed. I don't know. That probably happened when it was being molded. You can tell it's injection. Polycarbonate is always injection molded, and you can tell that the evidence is these where the plastic goes in, and also these little round circles. That's where there's an ejector pin or several pins in the mold that would have pushed that out when it was cooled off. But the magnets go in on one side, and the material must be awfully thin underneath those magnets to be able to see it like that. And that kind of gets important here in a minute. I'm going to show you why, because GAO Studio, in their usual mysteriousness, threw in a tiny little magnet by itself. At least I think they did, because it turned up, when I was taking this apart for the first time, it turned up just sticking to this black middle piece. And I had no idea where it came from. But I'll show you what I think what their intention was here in just a minute. But yeah, I think this is definitely worth it. Like I said, I prefer to hold it in this orientation with the lanyard hole pointing upward, otherwise it gets in the way because that middle piece has to move. And even though, well, we'll get into the details of construction in a minute here. Well, I don't think there's too much more to say about it. You can slow it down a little bit. I just got this today, so I should really have some more time with it. But I can tell, I mean, it was worth going ahead and getting the video started because I do like it, and I can tell right away that it's something I'm gonna enjoy. And something that's not so complicated that I need that much time to tell you about it. But I'm sure over time I'll probably learn to slow it down a little bit better with my grip. You know, that's sort of an acquired. I could tell right now I'm doing better than I was when I first took it out of the case, you know, a couple hours ago. That's kind of important to me because my usual thing with these, whether they're mechanical or magnetic, I think is I usually push things forward, and then, especially with the mechanical ones, I want to bring it back slowly and feel the clicks when I'm bringing it back. You know, whip it out, bring it back. And in this case, as with most of the mechanical ones, you kind of have to slow it down by gripping it from the sides a little bit. And that's just natural. I think that's totally fine. And it's actually working pretty good with this. I can slow this down. Otherwise, this one has a tendency to pop, just like everything else GAO makes, it seems. You just touch it, and it wants to pop shut on you. Sometimes it gets a little enthusiastic and even goes further. Yeah, we'll take her from there. I think we'll do some comparisons quick, and I'll give you the weights and measurements, and we'll be done. Okay, I almost forgot to tell you or show you that little magnet that fell out. And we got to do that before we move on, because it may or may not be a feature. It's kind of interesting, but I think, again, it's one of those afterthoughts. Like GAO Studios throws those little clicker domes in with stuff. Like a couple came with my my magic coin, and I couldn't really figure out where you're supposed to use them or put them in. And then a couple came with the GAO Studio cube slider, and I did kind of figure out a way to put those in there. But this thing, like I said, when it popped apart the first time, this magnet showed up sticking to the middle piece, the black piece. And I think that it goes in, or you can try putting it in on this side. Now, to explain what I mean by saying this side as compared to the other side, this side, you can't see the magnets in the middle, right? The other side, we'll just go ahead and show you quick. You can see the magnets. Now, I want to work on the side that I can't see the magnets. There's a reason for that. It's because I think this is where the magnet came out of. There's a little recessed area here, well, not a recessed, it's a hole that leads to the back of this plate that they put on to cover up the magnets. And I've tried pushing in there to see if this comes out. It does not come out. It's either glued or pressed or welded in some way, but it's not coming out. Neither are the magnets. But my guess is that the magnet came from down in here. Now, I played around with this and I tried putting it in one direction and the other direction, and it seems like no matter what I do, there's enough room in here for this thing to spin around. I didn't measure it yet. So I found the best way to get it back together was just to put that tiny magnet on the middle one and then just line everything up. If you try to get it, if you get these magnets here too close to this, it'll get sucked up. So I want to kind of line these up and kind of do a book close. I screwed it up. At least I can show you what I did. Or I'll show you where it went. There's where it went. So it is a little tricky to do that. It's not just a matter of slapping these together. Okay, and then I can tell by looking through it, get something light colored behind it. I don't think you'll be able to see it. Let's see. No, you can't really see. There's a little bit of a looseness to it, if that might bother you. But now that that magnet's in there, you can sort of hear it. It's a bit of a higher pitched. You see, it's a little bit louder. It's a little bit. I could feel that it's tightened up a little bit, and it's a little bit different. Now, it's a shame you cannot put it on this side. That I'm absolutely wrong in showing you that, because that's the side we put it on. Let me get the other side. Fell off. There we go. What I wanted to do was show you the opposite side. Now I messed this up. That's fine. That's fine. Whoa. Now, let me see if I can do this again. Get that in the middle. And then pop. No. That is a bugger. I'll tell you what. Give me one sec. Okay, so it's just tricky to get it together, but like I said, that definitely added something to it. And what I wanted to show you was, I said, it's a shame you cannot put it on the opposite side. And that's because the magnets are exposed. I realize there's no real way around that unless they were to do this to mold this in two parts. That'd be an idea for the future. But if this was smooth, I mean, I can't even put tape over this because they're just too, if you can see, I'll try to focus. Normally I prefer magnets to be below the surface and out of the way, or flush at least, very, very low profile, not interfering with the friction surface at all, even though that's not really a friction surface because of the balls. But the problem is, if you were to put the magnet in on this side, which you could try, you could put it here and put it in there, it will not move, because the other magnet gets caught down in the countersunk hole for this magnet, and then the next one and the next one. Actually, you just cannot get it to move past the middle one. That's how tight it is. So it would be really cool if this side was perfectly smooth as well, and then the magnet thing was intentional, and you could put one on this side and one on the other side, and then you get that. Let me put these. Whoop. Oh boy, I'm not having a lot of luck. One sec. Okay, I got it back together again. Anyhow, where I was headed with that was that, you know, it's a shame that you can't get it on both sides. The other thing is, I probably won't be using that little magnet. I'm afraid that it's going to wear down on this already seemingly misshapen surface here. Look at that again. And you'll see that it is starting to scratch up just a little bit right along the middle of those magnets, just from this magnet rubbing back and forth across it. Now, I thought a solution to that would be to, now you'd have to get a big piece of tape, but you'd have to cut an arc, a piece of Teflon tape in an arc, and put it over top of these, and then that little loose magnet here, which is currently stuck on the outside, would slide more smoothly over these, and it'll be less likely to damage anything. But I'm not going to bother with that. I think I'll probably just leave the little magnet out altogether, and whoops, stick with this little setup right here. So let's put him where I'm not going to lose him. There you go. Comparison wise, let's get out the old CP3, everybody's favorite. Maybe if I put my hand behind it, you'll be able to see a little bit better. It's about the same thickness. We've already sort of compared these guys, but I'll put them right next to each other for you. Let's see, like this. You know what else we didn't do? You can get rid of this middle piece altogether and use it exactly the same as you would this. And what I failed to mention was that these two are not interchangeable. This one has, I believe, 4mm balls, and this has 5mm balls. So that's mainly the reason that they won't work together, but the magnets are a little bit stronger on this one, I think, than this one. For me, though, you know, that's another thing. I probably would never carry it like this, but if you need this for a meeting, you could always pop this out, and then at least you'd have something. So I love modularity. I love that. Even if it's something I'm not likely to use, the fact that somebody thought of it and sort of demonstrated it just pleases me. But yeah, I can thank, his name's Cal something, Cal EDC maybe. I should give him some credit for talking me into getting this. Let's see here, let's do the weight. I'm not going to worry about the magnet strength affecting the scale here. 20 grams. Let's compare that to this. 17.2, and stainless steel is going to be much heavier. 64.3. All right, measurements. I'm getting about 48, which is about the same as that, which is about the same as that. So that's impressive. They kept things going. So this is about 19, 20 millimeters thick. This distance is about 20 millimeters. I think that about covers it. Again, I think it's worth getting. I'll slowly learn to hold it a little bit better and slow it down. Yeah, I'm kind of warming up to these plastic versions of toys. If nothing else, they're affordable, and they're certainly not to put down any 3D printing designers and such makers, but certainly a step above 3D printing. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. Bye.